Elon and Jeff, two big birds from a distant land, just flew into town, and they both looked like walking bags of money he'd just flown in. But you couldn't tell. He looked like he'd just woken up from a refreshing nap on a pile of money. I was already nursing a very expensive-looking whiskey, the kind that costs more than my first car.
Jeff, my old friend, Elon boomed, signaling the bartender, 2 more of whatever he's having and put it on my tab. The one labeled Mars Colony Budget.
I chuckled, swirling the amber liquid in my glass. Elon, I should have known you'd order for the whole table before you even sat down. What brings you to this corner of the world? Don't you have a rocket to launch or a social media platform to confuse?
Elon leaned back, his energy filling the small space. Life, my friend, is a beautiful, chaotic, and hilarious ride. We're here for such a short time, you know? You have to enjoy the highs, endure the lows, and laugh at the absurdity of it all. People get so stressed, they see a dip in the market and think the world is ending. I see a dip and think, ooh, a sale. It's all about perspective. You can either scream on the roller coaster or throw your hands in the air. I choose to throw my hands in the air. That's my philosophy. Enjoy everything, endure everything, and if possible, do it with a good drink in hand.
I took a slow sip of my whiskey, considering Elon's words. That's easy for you to say. You're playing with house money, but what about the regular person? They're seeing their savings go up and down like a yo-yo. They're hearing about this new thing, cryptocurrency, and it sounds like magic beans. It's confusing, it's scary. People are putting their hard-earned cash into something they can't even hold. How are they supposed to stay calm when the news tells them every day that they've made a huge mistake? It's a tough world out there for the small investor, you have to admit.
Elon's smile didn't fade. If anything, it got wider. But that's the beautiful part. They said the exact same thing about paper money. Think about it. For centuries, money was gold, silver, something you could bite. Then some guy comes along and says, "Here, take this piece of paper with my face on it. I promise it's worth 10 chickens." People must have thought he was insane. They probably tried to burn him at the stake. And banks? A place where you give them your gold and they give you a piece of paper? It sounded like the biggest scam in history. But it worked. And crypto? It's the same story. Just 1,000 years later and way, way faster.
Perfect.
I leaned forward, my curiosity piqued. So you're saying this whole crypto thing started just like the banks did, with one person's crazy idea? I signaled for another drink, this time on my own tab. It's hard to imagine. The banking system is this massive global institution. It feels like it's been here forever, like a mountain. To think it all started with some guy convincing his neighbor to trade a goat for an IOU is kind of mind-blowing. Is that really how it happened with crypto? Some lone genius in a basement somewhere just typed a few lines of code and created a new form of money out of thin air?
That's exactly it, Elon exclaimed, slapping the table with excitement. And that's what makes it so brilliant. It's shrouded in mystery. Nobody knows who the founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, really is. Is it one person? A group of people? A time-traveling alien who was bored on a Tuesday? Nobody knows. And that anonymity is its greatest strength. There's no CEO to fire, no headquarters to protest, no single person to corrupt. It's a financial system by the people, for the people. It's an idea that has come to life, and now you're seeing the biggest players in the world, the modern-day kings and pharaohs, quietly moving their treasure into it.
I raised an eyebrow. You mean the big banks? The hedge funds? I thought they were the enemy. I swirled my drink, the ice cubes clinking like tiny coins. Why would the richest people and the biggest companies on the planet be buying into a system that was designed to replace them? It sounds like turkeys voting for Christmas. Are they just trying to control it from the inside, or do they see something that the rest of us are missing? It doesn't make sense. If you were the king, why would you help the revolutionaries build a better guillotine? It seems counterintuitive to their entire business model.
Elon chuckled. Because they're smart. They're not turkeys, they're chameleons. They know how to adapt to survive. They see the writing on the wall. The old system is slow, it's expensive, and it's controlled by a handful of people in fancy suits. The new system is fast, it's global, and it's open to everyone. They're not buying crypto to be nice. They're buying it because they know it's the future. They understand that if you have $1 billion sitting in a bank, inflation is eating it like a monster under the bed. But if you put that billion into something like Bitcoin, you're not just protecting it, you're planting a money tree that could grow to the sky.
I looked intrigued and finished my drink in one decisive gulp. Okay, Elon, you've got my attention. Let's get specific. You talk about crypto like it's one thing, but there are thousands of these digital coins. Most of them sound like cartoon characters or failed science experiments. If you were to bet the farm, or in your case, the entire planet of Mars, which ones would you choose? What are the blue chip stocks of this new digital world? I need names. Give me the Holy Trinity. The ones you believe will still be standing when our great-great-grandchildren are flying around in personal spaceships.
Elon leaned in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. It's simple, really. You only need to focus on 3 for the long haul: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polygon. Mark my words, in the coming years, you'll see prices that will make today's numbers look like a rounding error. I'm talking about Bitcoin hitting numbers with so many zeros you'll need a new keyboard. I see Ethereum becoming the backbone of the new internet, with a value that reflects its incredible utility. And Polygon? Polygon will be the superhighway that connects everything, making it all faster and cheaper. These aren't just coins, they are the foundational pillars of the next financial age.
Okay, but why those 3? I asked, pulling out my phone and discreetly typing the names into a search bar. What makes them so special? Why not the one with the dog on it? It seems popular. I looked genuinely confused. They all seem to do the same thing: go up and down and give financial news anchors something to shout about. What's the fundamental difference? I need the simple version, Elon. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. A very, very rich 5-year-old who owns a delivery company, but a 5-year-old nonetheless.
Elon grinned. Perfect analogy. Think of it like this. Bitcoin is digital gold. It's rare, it's secure, and it's the ultimate store of value. It's where you park your wealth to protect it for 1,000 years. Ethereum is like digital oil. It's the fuel that powers the new digital economy. Every time someone creates a new app, a new contract, or a new piece of digital art, they need Ethereum to make it run. And Polygon? Polygon is digital real estate. It's the land on which everything else is built, making transactions on Ethereum faster and dramatically cheaper. You don't need 1,000 different coins, you just need the gold, the oil, and the land. The conversation paused as the bartender delivered a fresh round of drinks. Jeff stared into his glass, clearly processing all the information.
Gold, oil, and real estate, I get that. But why now? What was the trigger? This technology has been around for over a decade. It was always this niche thing for tech geeks and internet libertarians, but in the last few years it feels like it exploded into the mainstream. Something must have happened to push it over the edge. What was the catalyst? Was it just a matter of time, or did something give it a giant worldwide push?
Elon nodded grimly, his playful demeanor turning serious for a moment. The pandemic. The year 2020 changed everything. It wasn't just a health crisis, it was a financial one. The whole world shut down. Governments had to do something to stop a total economic collapse, so they started printing money, trillions and trillions of dollars appearing out of thin air. It was the biggest financial experiment in human history, and while it might have saved us in the short term, it also lit a fire under inflation. Suddenly, the money in your bank account was losing value faster than ever before. People started looking for a lifeboat.
So, you're saying COVID-19 created this new financial system? A global pandemic was the birth of a new economy? That sounds like the plot of a science fiction movie. It's a bit dark, isn't it? To think that so much suffering and chaos could lead to such a profound shift in how the world handles money. Are you suggesting that the virus was the black swan event that forced the world to evolve? That it broke the old system so completely that we had no choice but to start building a new one on top of the ruins?
Yes, absolutely. It was the Great Reset. The pandemic exposed all the cracks in the traditional financial system. It showed us how fragile it was and how easily governments could devalue our money. People realized they couldn't trust the old institutions to protect their future anymore. So, where did they turn? They turned to a system that no government can control, that no central bank can inflate. They turned to crypto. The pandemic didn't create the technology, but it created the necessity. It accelerated the adoption of digital assets by at least a decade. It forced the future to arrive ahead of schedule.
So if this new system is here to stay, what does that mean for the average person? The person who isn't a billionaire, who doesn't own a rocket company, the person who works a 9-to-5 job, trying to save for their kids' college and their own retirement. It sounds like they're caught in the middle of a massive storm. They're facing inflation from one side and this confusing new technology from the other. What are they supposed to do? Just watch as their job and their savings are threatened?
That's the most important part of this whole conversation. There's another storm coming: artificial intelligence. AI is going to change the job market in ways we can't even imagine. Many jobs that exist today simply won't exist in 10 or 20 years. Relying on a single salary is becoming one of the riskiest financial strategies a person can have. People need to build their own lifeboat. They need to own a piece of the future. Investing in these digital assets now, while it's still early, isn't just about getting rich. It's about securing your family's financial survival in a world that is about to change forever. The government knows this. The biggest corporations know this. They are all investing in this new world. The question is, will you? You have to understand this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to get ahead. It's a chance to build wealth that isn't dependent on your job or the whims of politicians. People need to protect their future because the old safety nets are disappearing. This isn't a game. This is about ensuring that your family is safe and secure, no matter what happens with AI or the economy. It's about taking control of your own destiny. Elon looked directly at Jeff, but his message was really for everyone. Think about your family. Someone, generations ago, started a tradition. Maybe they were the first to buy land, the first to get an education, or the first to start a business. They made a smart, brave decision that benefited every generation that came after them. Right now, today, you have the chance to be that person for your family. You can be the one who starts a new tradition. The one who understood where the world was going and built a foundation of digital wealth that will support your children and their children for decades to come. Don't wait. Be that person.